You can take it or leave it, but at some point you start to believe all those who claim that everything that happens to you happens for a reason. And I don't want to get lost in the weeds of esotericism and far-fetched theories, but you have to agree that if you truly desire something with all your heart, sooner or later it will come to you. And even if in this moment you are not going through the best of times, by analyzing your life you can find moments, though they may be hard to prove, when something you truly wished for came to you, whether it was a long-awaited toy in childhood or something in your adult life. My wishes have come true quite often. For example, the very fact that I'm now in Canada, a country I had dreamed of living in for a very long time, and having practically no chance of legally and easily moving to the country, I ended up here for completely unpredictable reasons, which only confirms once again the fact that we need to be careful with our desires, because sooner or later they are bound to come true. In this video I want to talk about the power of our desires and reflect on the nature of our reality. I want to warn you right away that on this channel I express only my own point of view, based on the facts and information I gather daily from open sources. You shouldn't take the information presented as a call to action, but rather as food for thought. And if you share my point of view, or even if you don't, I ask you to express your own opinion in the comments below the video. By doing so, you will help spread my videos and bring more people into the discussion of interesting topics. So, the power of desires. There is no scientific proof of the literal fulfillment of wishes by the power of thought. However, in psychology and neuroscience, there is confirmation that the competent formulation, visualization, and processing of desires activates new neural connections and helps a person to act differently, which often leads to achieving the desired results. The conclusion from this is that desires are not fulfilled by magic alone, but a well-defined goal, emotions, visualization, and self-belief contribute to a person starting to notice opportunities and actively changing their life to get what they want. And this makes sense, especially for those skeptics who dismiss any possibility of something existing that is even in the slightest way similar to a miracle. But as we understand, the most people, miracles don't exist. For me, however, miracles do exist, and such miracles are described in vast numbers of various science. Can we not call the very existence of the universe a miracle? Can we not call it a miracle that enormous galaxies are flying away from each other after some kind of Big Bang? And if we look at our own bodies in detail, we are literally built from miracles of varying scales. Our life, in essence, is a collection of miracles and coincidences. I recently came across a video with Neil deGrasse Tyson where he points out a rather interesting fact. According to average scientific estimates, throughout the entire existence of humanity on our planet, about 100 billion people have lived. Remember that number. Next, scientists calculated how many variations of our genes can exist, and the precious number of possible genetic variations in a human is practically astronomical, far exceeding the number of all people who have ever lived on the planet. Even if you account for combinations incompatible with the life and remove them from the calculation, the number of unique human genomes surpasses not only 100 billion, but also the number of atoms in the Earth's crust. This literally indicates that by being born, you won the most incredible lottery that could possibly exist. Just by comprehending this fact, we can already assert that every person ever born on this planet is, in and of itself, a miracle. Isn't that so? Write what you think about this in the comments below this video. And this information truly amazed me because it reflects just how much we fail to appreciate the fact of our own existence. Yes, modern life is very different from the life our ancestors experienced, But that doesn't make the fact that our birth is a combination of completely unexpected events any less miraculous. And we can perceive this however we wish. And here comes a rather candid moment in every person's life. When you are going through a not so positive experience, you simply must remember what a wonderful chance you've been given to exist. No matter how much it seems to you right now that life is completely meaningless, you simply have to make yourself understand that you have been given an absolutely incredible opportunity to live. And whether you want to believe it or not, such a chance and such an opportunity should not be missed. Returning to dreams, we must all accept the fact that a sincere desire for something sets in motion a mechanism in life that attracts what is desired. When you want something badly, your brain begins to filter information correctly, and you could say on a subconscious level direct you toward fulfilling your dream. Using my own life as an example, I always maintain that all my desires in one form or another come to me. Canada, like many other countries, launched a program for the simplified issuance of special visas for Ukrainians seeking refugee from the war. And if I hadn't had the desire to move to Canada at some point, the news about this special program wouldn't have caught my attention at all. It was a confluence of circumstances, being outside of Ukraine and having a small financial cushion for the move, that played the decisive role. And we ended up in Canada at that specific moment in time, which became real proof of wishes being fulfilled. I could give many examples, but at the end of this video, let's learn to dream and to do it correctly, as much as life, fate, or the universe, depending on what you call it, allows. First, we must all understand that you need to dream with specifics, in all permissible detail. Size, color, number, specific coordinates, situations. In the previous video, I talked about developing design skills so that you have the ability to visualize your ideas, which will trigger the mechanics of realizing your desires. You can want a beautiful house on the ocean, or you can have a concrete plan and even images of your future home. And what's most interesting is that modern technology allows you to plan absolutely everything, from precise coordinates to detailed images generated by artificial intelligence, thereby setting a detailed road for your life. And I repeat once more, there is no magic here and nothing supernatural. You are literally visualizing your ideal life, and your subconscious will eventually lead you to what you desire. Just look at people who are sincerely and in some sense even fanatically dedicated to their favorite craft. What heights do they reach? Read the books of successful billionaires and owners of successful corporations who are truly fanatical about their work and move towards their goals through a huge number of failures, betrayals, and other situations that arise on their path. They are not workaholics or fanatics, they have clearly built their goals based on their desires. And they just kept moving forward at a time when other people were judging them and didn't believe in them. But their belief in their own dreams and goals was much stronger. Their inner voice was much stronger than the external pressure, and the power of their desires led them to what they eventually achieved. Therefore, when someone tells you that dreaming is beneficial, these are not empty words. In our childhood, we were told dreaming doesn't hurt, but as it turns out, that phrase should be dreaming is beneficial, or even dreaming is necessary. After all, if you live without a dream, it means you are living without a definite plan for this very life, which could lead us to a conversation about our purpose, which in turn can be interpreted with different words and meanings. But I have discovered a simple truth for myself. Dreaming and visualizing my dreams is what ignites in me a passion for action. Dreaming and making plans is what adds colors to a routine life. Dreaming and believing that someday your dreams will become reality is the very meaning of existence and of finding the meaning of life. After all, what could be more pleasant than realizing that right now you're experiencing the very thing you so strongly asked for several years ago. On that note, I will end my video. I'm glad you watched it to the end. I invite you to tell me about your dreams in the comments below this video and also to share your thoughts on the topic of wishes coming true. And please start loving yourself and your life, because that is where the secret to a happy life lies. Thank you, and I'll see you in a happy life. See you next time.